Ramble.
Thanks to KiwiCo, Huzzah, and the CDC for sponsoring today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of You Can Sit With Us. I am back from vacation, and I am Maggie. For those of you who are listening.
That's such a funny way to say it. I am back from vacation.
They're like, wait, who's listening? Who's talking? It's me, Maggie. And I'm
looking
joined.
so tan.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
The most
Margaret coming in hot today.
almost got it.
Between vacation plus Bowie swim camp plus
I love the
4th of July, I was in the pool. I have gotten fairly tan, which I'm very happy about. But
you look like summer itself.
The embodiment of summer.
oh my gosh.
You've got Maggie has her glasses on her hanging on her shirt. I love it.
I will come into places at like 8 p.m. and someone will be like, why do you still have your sunglasses on your shirt? I'm like, you never know.
I've always got them up on my head
Yeah.
because like they hold my hair back too.
Yeah.
You know, and so then I just forget. And then when I take them off and I throw them in my bag, then they like inevitably get ruined. So
Yeah.
they're safe
I
on my
like-
head.
Exactly. I like to use them like as part of my outfit, you know.
Absolutely.
When you look too plain, you're like, just put the sunglasses here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you're not using them.
So cute.
So
Were you
cute.
so pleased when Matt brought that goodie bag of stuff from his house that you and I had left there?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Those were your
Goodie
like,
bag.
yeah.
We left
were at
a bunch of
party
stuff
Matt's
at their house.
and I had left like my favorite water bottle. I know that's ridiculous to say. I have a favorite water bottle. I had left my favorite water bottle and something else, like a shoe or something. A
shoe.
I don't know.
A single
And Ariel
shoe?
was holding my sunglasses
Ariel,
in there.
how drunk were you at this party?
I wasn't drunk. I think I
One
had, like,
shoe.
had a change of shoes or something. I can't imagine why. But it also had Maggie's sunglasses in it because Matt thought those were mine. And
I
was
think
like,
you were
"Maggie,
holding them at one point. We went somewhere and I was like, can you hold these for me? And you
That's
did
it.
because I don't carry a purse on me usually.
Yes, and I carry a very large purse.
Yes. Yes.
It's full of things that I don't need, but also things that I feel like someday I probably will need.
You never know.
Yeah.
I have a tape measure in my bag, everybody.
Wow.
That's the mark of a real interior designer.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Ready
I-
to take measurements.
Do you
I-
have
I-
a flexible one for clothing?
No.
I always have a hard time when I'm buying things online and it's like, sizing is so different to like when it comes to different brands.
Do you actually measure yourself when they do the sizing
For
thing? They say
pants,
like
I feel
38
like
inches or
you're
something.
I feel
so
like
good.
I feel
know.
like pants, especially, you have to.
I consider buying clothes online a temporary price point for trying them on because if it they don't fit. They don't fit. I hate shopping online.
I do too.
Nothing fits.
I send
have
back like 50% of the things that I order.
I have a couple brands that I can get pants from, and then I've done like the exact measurements from other places, and they'll show up, and I'm like, oh, these do not fit.
I feel like I order things and then I create work for myself where I'm like, before work this morning, I have to package up these boxes and go by FedEx, UPS, and the post office to drop all the
worst.
stuff. And I'm like, why did I buy anything? Why did I give myself all this homework to do?
You should just go to one of those box places. They have all of those things.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a Box Brothers.
Yeah.
And the place is awesome. They're so nice in there, and they have all the things. And the UPS guy, the mailman, and the FedEx guy come and
Go
pick up
there.
their-
not know
That's
that.
really
That's
smart.
smart.
That's
They're
a
great.
great life
They're
hack.
great. Yeah.
Do they sell like moving supplies as well?
And they sell boxes.
Oh,
That's why they're
okay.
called Box Brothers.
Okay.
And they ship. So if you don't have a label, then they'll be like, okay, well, you know, when do you want it to get there? And then they'll give you the cheapest option between all of the shipping companies.
We gotta ask her because Ariel buys her fair amount of furniture. We gotta.
Well,
buy
also,
furniture. I ship a lot of stuff.
yeah.
I return a lot of stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
where do you buy your pants? That was the
Yeah,
upcoming question.
Either Aritzia.
Oh,
because they have a lot of
there.
different.
They have one at the
denim.
Americana.
Yeah.
Can we go in
Come
person?
someday? Because that cute like crop top, kind of like the one that Maggie's wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one that the stylist brought to our photo shoot,
Yes.
that was from Aritzia, and I was like, I need this.
I need this.
Should
we go?
Yeah, I think
like
that'd be
to an
really
actual store in person.
Maggie can show us around.
Maggie can show us what's cool. Maggie, help us stay young
Actually,
forever.
I've been
We
dying
need
to go to
this.
another flea market. We should do that.
Oh,
should
I would
do
love
that.
to do that.
Especially now that you've got the new place.
But that's not for pants. That's for like
They do have like Well, I've bought shorts from
Maggie
like,
can shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like flea markets are good for like vintage dresses and muumuus or furniture.
Yeah.
Or
pants
like
are kind
cool
of harder to get
glassware.
into because you can throw a muumuu over your current outfit and try it on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't. I mean, you can.
You can't. I've gotten a good pair of shorts that I've cut.
Oh, like vintage, like Levi's or Wranglers
Kind
or
of like
something.
the Bermuda look.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maggie. Okay, so tell
You're
us,
so fashionable.
how was your vacay? And did you eat a lot of churros?
I wish I did not eat as many churros as I thought I was going to eat because I love churros, but it was a lot of fun.
That's so good.
And then Zach's sister was also there, so we got to visit her at her
How was
fancy
she
resort.
there?
I saw that on Instagram.
She, one of her friends has a membership to like a very exclusive place.
Oh, wait, Zach told me about this. Do you want to name the celebos that you saw there?
I didn't get to see them.
You didn't?
I missed them by a couple of days, but Zach's sister was staying at a resort with Zach's idol, Larry David. And Larry David has a Bowie. I was like, they are spitting
When
images
Zach
of each other.
heard this, he
just
basically vibrated straight into her office and he was like, guess who Steffi saw?
Yeah. And
Like, who could this be? Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
Vin Diesel.
Could it be Vin Diesel?
That's an excellent guess. Seriously. We need Maggie to take us shopping. Also, because of an idea that Rachel and I have.
Oh no, don't tell everyone.
You
then we're
don't
going to have to
think?
do it.
We're going to do it, Rachel. That's the whole point, is that we're scared of it. What? Okay. Rachel and I had this idea when we were on vacation. Did somebody else come up with it, or I think it was us.
I think it was us/Ned.
Yeah, us/Ned, which I take responsibility for Ned's ideas all the time. That's just
We were
marriage.
talking about how it's really, really hard for me, especially maybe in this grouping, but in all of us, to not just post photos of our kids on Instagram.
I mean, I get it.
They're so cute.
We
I'm
don't
like,
post
the
pictures of
world needs
ourselves.
to see.
Yes.
We don't take pictures of ourselves.
Yes.
I don't.
So
I don't get in the photos.
Yeah.
So Rachel and I are going to find somebody to teach us how to take thirst trap photos.
Oh, wow.
And
I feel like you could get on like YouTube or TikTok for that. Be like, how to post hot. There's
And
definitely a
for-
video that exists.
I mean, I think Kaylin could help us.
I think Kaylin could
Have you
help
seen
us.
her feed?
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, and then for an entire week, we will not post photos of our children.
you're just going to post thirst traps.
So we will only post photos of ourselves.
I'm here for it.
You're
I'm
totally here for it, right?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing at all, but I would love to be there while you do this.
Excellent.
Come, Maggie,
Yeah,
come.
be like,
Maybe you can help
"Charlie."
us buy new clothes for our thirst trap photos because
Let's go to
the
Aritzia.
sweater tank top ain't gonna cut it.
Oh my gosh.
My little tie tank top from
You guys don't give yourself enough credit.
Well, we're gonna try to. We're gonna post thirst traps. Everyone who follows me on Instagram is gonna be so confused.
I know, me too.
They're gonna be like, wait. I thought I was going to like a wholesome family account, and now there are thirst trap photos.
I'm here for it.
I'm really
I'm so
excited.
scared.
I'm really excited. I'm excited. I'm not scared. I'm not scared exactly.
But are you going to like rent out those places that all the influencers do and like do an
Ooh,
entire
yes.
photo shoot and they bring
No, I hadn't
different
thought of that, but
outfits?
yes,
You should do that.
Okay.
because I'm pretty sure.
There's like an Airbnb
Kaylin,
for
correct us if you're wrong. You can just tell me. But I'm pretty sure, like, anytime she goes to like a cool Airbnb or like on vacation somewhere, she does multiple outfit changes in a single location, even if she's not there for a super long time. Yeah, because she's getting that content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what all the people do.
Yeah.
Well, we're amateurs, but let's do it.
Well, should we transition? Maggie has some.
I have a story for you.
Oh yeah, tell us.
I've been wanting to tell my story for the weekend. So
Yes. Okay.
I've told you guys that the first time I met Zach's family, or his mom and dad and his sister, I was on a boat and I vomited the entire time.
Yes,
you
I do
did tell
remember
us.
this.
So this weekend, I had the pleasure of meeting Zach's aunt from the East Coast. She was flying in from Philly, I believe.
This mom's sister.
Mom's
or- okay.
sister, yes. And his cousin, so her daughter. And then Zach's two grandmas came over.
Oh.
So we just moved in to a new house a couple months ago, and we have been wanting to invite and like host people, but we're still like not there yet. Anyway, they were coming from out of town. So we're like, we would love to host you. We'll have some pizza because we're not the best hosts like both of you.
Oh, shush. I ordered
Ariel
pizza
makes
when
like the
people come
cutest
over.
like breakfast spreads.
Oh, stop.
Rachel, you make the cutest charcuterie boards. Yeah. But anyway, we're keeping it casual. We don't have a lot of like entertainment wear. So we invited them over for the day. So Zach and I went to the farmer's market. We got all the supplies to make a salad. It was all lovely. We order a pizza. Zach's grandmother's like always super punctual and like will yell at and berate Zach anytime he's like 5 minutes late. So we wanted to make sure we had everything ready. I ordered the pizza like the day ahead to arrive right when she was coming.
Oh my God.
She texts us. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm running late. This has never happened. I was like, oh no.
Did she say this has never happened?
No, we're just, Zach and I are like, oh wow, I hope everything's okay because this has never happened before. And I was like, oh no, we have to keep the pizzas warm. So
Oh no.
I go into
Grandma wanted 2 p.m. pizza.
Yeah.
It cannot be room temp.
cannot be room temp. I mean, she's a New Yorker, so I'm sure she'll eat pizza at whatever temperature. But in my mind, I was like, this has to be perfect. This is the first time I'm meeting his aunt and his cousin. Like,
And
it's going to
whenever
be
people
great.
are coming over to your new house, there's like a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, for sure. So I went into the kitchen and we had done this a couple weeks ago for my sister's graduation thing. I put the setting on bake in the oven and we had 3 boxes. So I put them on 3 different levels and I put it on
in the oven.
Yeah, we did it like a couple weeks ago.
I put boxes in the oven.
Yeah, I put the box in the oven on the lowest setting. It was fine. It was fine. It happened a couple weeks ago and everything was totally fine. So I was like, okay, Zach, I'm going to do it again. So I put it on low. So Zach goes to work.
What's low? Like 170?
Like the lowest possible. I think it's just like 150 to 200, something. The lowest the lowest option on the meter. I forget what it was, but yeah.
Oh my God, what happened, Maggie?
So Zach goes into his office to write some emails, and then I just am in the bathroom just touching up my makeup. And then it's been 30 minutes, and so I pop out, and I'm about to take Bowie out to pee, and all of a sudden I smell burning. And I go, Zach, what's that smell? And we run into the kitchen, and our kitchen is just covered in like fog, smoke. I start panicking. I run out. This just shows like Zach like steps up to the plate, and I run into the living room because I have Bowie. I was like, there's a fire extinguisher under the sink. Bye. So Zach turns the oven light on, and there is a pizza on the top rack just with an entire crater in the middle of it. And it's just disintegrating around the pizza. The boxes. And it was just like ember. But as soon as Zach opened the oven, it was exposed to oxygen and just burst into flames.
Oh my God.
So Zach's screaming.
Zach is screaming.
Zach is screaming. Zach is screaming. I'm going around the house finding every air purifier I own, every fan I own. I'm opening all the windows.
I'm gonna purify this.
Yes.
So did he spray it with a
Luckily, he
not
ran.
do that if you can get away with it.
The
mess
is not worth it.
He ran outside of the house with like the biggest oven mitts I've ever seen, like the barbecue grill ones up to his elbows, and he's just on the driveway just like throwing the oven mitt at the pizza box, and the pizza box eventually it's no longer a pizza box, it's just the pizza in the middle. And it just keeps it's just ash, and it just keeps lighting on fire, and like Zach keeps hitting it. Oh my God, it was such a mess. And as this is happening, Zach's aunt and his cousin pull up. I wanted to die. And Zach,
you were like, I quit life. It's over.
I know.
Nice to meet you.
I'm done.
Goodbye.
I am done.
It's so nice to me. And it smells so bad. It smells so bad in my kitchen still.
Yeah.
Still.
And you probably had the house like as clean as it's ever been.
And it's just everything like murky in there. Also, another added stress is Zach's grandmother has lung issues. So I was like, she's going to flip out. And it is 89 degrees outside because
like,
it's the middle of the summer.
You can't go outside. You can't like open the doors or anything. Oh,
luckily, the way where the kitchen is, it's like behind like the fireplace area, so it is sectioned off. It's not like an open concept where all the smoke just was like in the. So we were able to sit inside, but we had pre-cooled the house down in the morning and like shut all the doors to make sure it was nice and air conditioned for our guests.
Did so much.
It's like you wanted it too badly, and the universe was like,
no,
Mags.
no,
Fuck this. You do not get this perfect this perfect day.
Picture perfect.
Oh,
life,
Maggie, that is so it's so sad, but it's also so funny.
Painful and so funny.
Painfully funny.
I felt like we bonded because of it.
You
because we just
did.
kept laughing.
They probably love you even more because you're a real human who set her pizza box on fire.
That is so funny. Growing up, I loved going to the museum, going on like field trips with my classes. And our child experiences, they really impact who we are today. And so why not gift your young innovators super cool STEAM projects to nurture their curiosity and exploration outside the classroom? With a kiwico subscription, your child gets a new crate full of fun science and art projects every month. So Finn is finally old enough to really enjoy the toys that we get in the Panda crate. Right now, we just got the one that is for counting. It's called like Count With Me. It's just precious watching him try to do that with his chubby little fingers.
It's hard to find creative ways to keep kids busy and screen-free while stretching their brains, especially now. kiwico does the legwork for you, so you can spend more quality time tackling projects together. With kiwico, there's something for every kid or kid at heart every month. Get your first month free on select crates at kiwico.com/sitwithus. That's kiwico.com/sitwithus.
Was the pizza still good?
No, luckily not.
Eat it. It's like
I don't know. I mean, maybe the other ones were still good.
Yeah,
there are two of the pizzas.
There's like a door to the side of our house that's just complete. Oh, it's like the wooden around and then the glass in the middle. And Bowie was just sitting there the entire time guests were over and was just staring at the pizza because the pizza was still like intact. There was like ash probably all over it, but the box is what burnt all the way. And Zach was like, "You could maybe eat this," and I was like, "No,
not. You're not supposed to eat burnt particles of cardboard or whatever."
Okay, I'm just gonna call it to everybody listening. Don't put your pizza boxes in the oven.
I feel like different ovens run hotter or colder, and definitely never put it on the top.
Never put it on the top.
Or
you can't put it next to the element.
Broiler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it just got to, because I think if I would put it one lower and maybe not had 3 pizzas.
And make sure it's like actually 170.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm not risking it.
Do you take your whole pizza out and put it?
100%.
mine didn't have
put it on a pan.
I guess I should. I don't think I have a pan big enough for, but I thought about, I was like, maybe I can just take it off because usually some of the pizzas come with a cardboard cutout underneath and you just like put it directly onto the oven rack, but it didn't. And it was like a bigger pizza. So I was like, this is going to make a mess. So I should have done that.
Whoopsie.
There were barriers.
I still have both my sister and I still have nightmares of the time that my mom made nachos. And so she would always use the broiler function, and she would leave the oven door just like ajar while she was melting the cheese on the nachos.
A jar.
A jar. And there was one time when the nachos, you guys have met my mom. She was probably off doing something else, and the nachos burned, and then lit on fire.
Oh no!
And
the broilers are real risky.
The broilers are very risky, especially if you leave it open. Yeah. Because the oxygen's getting in there.
Yeah.
And I think I was like 13 at the time or something like that. So my sister would have been 10. And so the oven is on fire, like flames coming out, and none of us know what to do. My dad wasn't home. And so we open it up all the way. The fire just gets bigger. So now there's flames just like licking the side. And so we get our enormous fire extinguisher. Yeah. And my mom goes, "Call the fire department." And she takes the thing and just goes, and
You gotta sometimes.
And like it was cartoonish. The way that thing sprays. It's like you're trying to get it into the oven, but it sprays the entire kitchen.
Wow.
It is the entire kitchen.
A nightmare
with
mess.
that white stuff.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, if you gotta use it, you gotta use it.
Yeah. But so the fire department shows up and it's like two guys come in. We've got it under control at that point. We've sprayed the entire kitchen with the fire extinguisher. And the guys walk in. We were living in Texas. And, these two guys walk in. And one of them's got a very deep Southern accent. And he's looking around, sort of judging us for the mess. And he was like, well, why didn't you just close the door? Like to
It was
the
on
oven.
fire, sir.
You gotta get this. I don't know. I think I panicked in the moment. There were like, oh, there are 2 pizzas, you know?
Right?
And you like have to get the thing out.
I had
but
to
didn't
save
think,
the nachos.
So those of you listening, if there's ever something on fire in the oven, just
close the door.
Just close the door.
And
Or just
turn the
keep it
oven
closed
off, and then
turn it off.
and then monitor it.
And then
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ovens are made for that.
Ovens are made for fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I'm so sorry, Maggie.
I'm so glad I didn't burn my first home down.
I'm so glad that
I'm
didn't
so
happen
glad
either.
too.
It was just a pizza. You're fine.
Also, we looked around. There is no smoke detector in our kitchen. It's only,
That is something I was going to ask. Is
There is
how
none.
did
There is
it
none.
get so bad?
there is none.
That's-
There's one in the living room, and when we first moved in, the batteries were dying, so Zach took it off, and we haven't gotten new batteries yet.
Oh, you got to put
We're
it back.
geniuses.
That's the issue.
I know. We called my sister, and she always calls both of us her 2 liabilities because she's like, I can't believe you guys are adults, like both of you together.
Oh my God. I was going to say in a new house too, like when you got your inspection, I'm sure that they went around and they were like, okay, you have all the proper fire things. Blah, blah,
The
blah.
amount of times Zach at our old office left a tea kettle burning into oblivion on the
Luckily,
stove.
we have the electric one now. It just
Yeah.
shuts off.
Too many to count.
I know.
And the amount of times he left a candle burning in the bathroom.
He's lit a candle?
Yeah. We had one.
When you poop.
We had one bathroom at the old office, and all the boys were really on that window candle game. They were
Wow.
looking out for others.
Like, Zach is not one to just randomly let it. Gotcha.
yeah,
He's burning sage after he poops.
You
He's
guys
like,
don't have to poopery.
Listen, you saw that bathroom. I don't know. The boys had a system. I would find the window open, the candle on, but once in very early days, the only people working were Keith, Zach, and I came to the office, and I think this was the first time I texted them in all caps, yelling.
Okay.
And there was a very empty, very burnt kettle on the stove with a low flame.
Oh,
there was
no.
a burning candle in the bathroom, and the back door was fully open. And I was like, we cannot run a business like this.
Oh my God.
I texted them in all caps. I was like, you can't, guys, you can't. And I think Zach was like, yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
I was like, Okay. Nothing burned down. Luckily, there were 2 sources of flames all night, and no one stole all the hard drives.
Night?
Yeah, I arrived the next morning. They had been like, in the early days, the boys edited the videos, and I think they had been there till like midnight editing or whatever, and they just walked away.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
So I'm coming in at 9 a.m. and I was like, this will not stand.
No kettles on the stove.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an electric one shortly after that.
That's good. Do you guys ever panic that you leave like a hair straightener on?
Yes, every time. So I have to unplug it, wrap it up, and put it in this little hanging bag I have because if I leave it on the counter and I don't have the muscle memory of putting it away, I'm like, oh, it's probably on. The babies are going to pull it down. They're going to burn their faces off.
A lot of them now have the mechanism, if it's been on for an hour, it'll shut off. But
It's good, but it's still hot.
back in college, I had a smart plug because I would constantly just leave it on. And I'd be like, I would go back to the smart plug and turn off the plug.
and you would
I'd
go
be like,
that's genius actually.
That's
but
smart.
by
really
that
smart.
point, if I'm like 20 minutes into a lecture, my apartment could be on fire. Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
Really, really smart.
I know.
Wow, that's a hack. That's
It's
really
a great
good.
life hack. Well, Mags, do you have a medical myths with Maggie for us today?
Yeah, I have. It's not a myth per se, but it is a health lesson that you never will learn in health class.
Ooh.
So here we go.
Tell us.
I love this.
Here we go. Are you text, toilet, people.
Oh, I will I will fully sit on the toilet and like read all my emails.
Ariel.
I'm like going through the entire New York Times. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the only time that I have a minute to myself. And
my
so,
God.
you know, I could find myself 15 minutes later and I'm looking at like seriously strangers on Instagram Reels.
Or
After
TikTok. Get on TikTok.
Ariel loves Reels.
I do.
She
I
loves
do.
TikToks
I
on
need to just
Instagram.
Join the ding dang TikTok.
Yes. What about you, Rachel?
Well, my situation currently is this. Ooh, I feel a rumbly feeling in my tummy. I think I might have to use the potty. Do you guys want to come with me?
Oh,
I do have to use the potty. Okay, now we wipe, now we flush, now we wash our hands. So, no,
It's
not
very quick
currently.
kick with it. That's good. That's good. Ariel, did you know that you could get hemorrhoids, which are inflamed veins from sitting on the toilet and texting for extended periods of times? There's a lot of things that can predispose you. Pregnancy.
Yeah.
You
had
could
them in
have-
pregnancy.
for sure.
Internal hemorrhoids, which aren't usually something that's felt. External hemorrhoids can get itchy. They can bleed. So can the internal ones.
Yeah, in pregnancy, they happen because you are carrying so much weight that it puts so much pressure on those veins, right?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Oh, yeah,
I-
been there, done that.
The reason I bring it up is because I actually have a friend who had, like, this is very rare. I'm going to preface. I don't want to fearmonger people, but
Put the fear into us for behaving better, though.
he's fine now. But
Is it Zach?
No, it's not. It's one of my friends. It's one of my really close friends from college. He weightlifts,
Okay.
but he ended up getting something called a rectal prolapse.
I know what this is.
Wait, so tell me what
do not-
it is. What?
do not
Best
Google
friend,
it. Do not Google it. It's when your colon spills out of your butthole.
What?
Yes. And it's very rare. It's like 2 out of 100,000 people get it. And it's usually because
Weightlifting.
weightlifting, pregnancy, GI issues.
Huge poops.
Women
Like-
can also have this happen with organs out of their vagina if they don't have good pre and postnatal care. I have a friend whose job it
Prolapse
is to
usually
like surgically
means-
fix keeping your
Uterus up.
yeah.
It can happen with your bladder. It can happen with your uterus. It can happen with your butthole
Oh my goodness.
or your colon. I mean,
Okay.
for that reason.
So-
but what I'm saying is don't text and be on the toilet. I'm not saying that
Because
your
you're sitting there
your
for too long?
Yeah. You're sitting there for too long.
Okay.
And it's putting undue stress on your vein.
tushy.
Your tushy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So should I get off the pot?
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't do your, just go sit on
You
your
should tell.
couch.
Go, yeah. Just,
I know
just
our
go take your
listeners-
time somewhere else.
Yeah.
Are like predominantly women, but I feel like boys take forever in the bathroom. Boys
I
are like gone
agree.
for like 40 minutes. You're
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
They're
Yeah.
texting. They're texting on the pooper.
Some people take longer than others, but if you do, maybe talk to somebody.
Interesting.
Because, yeah, you can get hemorrhoids for like chronic constipation.
Wow.
Yeah. All
No,
those
I'm
good
fast.
things.
I'm like, did she pee or did she poop? I'll never know.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not fast,
Yeah.
but maybe I could be.
You can
really
do
bad.
it.
We'll work on speed.
It's really, I feel like it's a wasted poo if I don't have my phone with me.
Yeah. Why don't you go?
Oh, because
and then
your time is
It's your time is so
precious.
valuable. Why
Okay,
don't you
I have an idea
flush
for you.
Okay.
and sit on the toilet seat, and that's still your quiet time.
What if it's a catalog, not your phone? Because you love them.
I do love them.
You need to read
Catalogs are
them.
long. Have you seen some
She
of these?
doesn't have to finish
I'm
it.
a speed cataloger.
And the thing about a catalog is I feel like you can stop when you want to, but with a phone, it's so easy
can't.
to just go down a
Continue
rabbit hole.
going.
My thumb just hits the Instagram app to scroll without my making a conscious decision. Isn't that so messed up?
That's really interesting. You should move it. You should move the
I
app.
have. I've moved it to the last page.
So you have to go all the way to the end. How many pages do you have?
Just 3.
okay.
I'm very concise and organized on my phone.
Oh,
I
I'm
deleted it
so
off
not.
the homepage. I have to like actually type it into the search now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You and Zach have very healthy
I don't know if we do. We're trying, but I don't know if we do. Zach's addicted to Twitter.
Really?
He doesn't care about Instagram, but I constantly see him scrolling. I'm like, no more, no more.
No more doom scrolling.
No more doom scrolling. Yeah. And I feel like on TikTok, I'm learning depending on like what's on your feed.
Sometimes I'm learning and sometimes I'm like
doom scrolling for sure.
Yeah. Do I need more to eat more macros, exercise with HIIT, did clean my house better?
Whoa.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just telling me all these things.
Clean your house better. Once Becky told me that she was into the folding TikTok, I was hooked. I was like, okay, maybe this is something I need to get into.
Yeah.
And I still haven't crossed over to TikTok yet, but I am 100% into Reels. And I'm pretty sure that's
But
just
Reels?
reposts from TikTok.
Okay, it is. But Reels doesn't have an algorithm that's tailoring it to you the way TikTok does. TikTok's algorithm is better. So you're going to find more of what you want by liking or rewatching something that you really like. It's going to learn about you much faster. There's this very cute young gay gardener in Tennessee who bought this huge plot of land and is learning how to garden it and grow stuff. And he's the only person I follow.
That's
and
cute.
I love him. I love him so much. He'll be like, this morning in the garden, my zucchini flowers need a little pollinating, but I like to ask for consent before. Can I pollinate you? Oh, yes. Here you go. Boop, boop, boop. Can I pollinate you? Oh, yes. Here you go. Boop, boop, boop. And he pollinates them with a little cute. He's so cute.
That is so cute.
It's really cute.
Can I pollinate you?
Boop, boop, boop. Excuse me, ma'am. May I pollinate you? Okay. Do, do, do. He's really cute. Anyways, he's my one TikTok follow. So you could be really selective. Otherwise, I just lurk, you know.
Sometimes I like going on Pinterest. I know I used to go on Pinterest a lot in college, actually. It's just like the one social media app where you're just minding your own damn business, you know?
Yep.
Just saving the images.
Saving
You
pretty
should do it for
things.
your wedding. Just save
Oh, yeah?
images. Like I gave our florist a like Pinterest board, basically. And it wasn't all floral arrangements. Some of it was like fabrics or whatever. It was like your and Maggie and I's Instagram DMs, which are just beautiful things on Instagram.
That's basically,
That we send each other, but that's what it looked like. And they did my flowers based off of that, off those vibes.
Ooh.
I love that.
Do you read the comments, Maggie?
Sometimes I read like the first couple ones because I feel like after a certain point, if I see a mean comment, then I just have a really bad day. So I'll look at the popular ones and then I'll tell myself the rest of the comment thread is for the audience to talk amongst themselves because it gives me too much anxiety. It gives me too much anxiety.
I'm 100% with you.
I'll read the top ones.
I read the top like 5 and then I'm like, that's enough.
Guys, the weather is hot right now. I have been sitting by that kiddie pool, drinking my seltzer, and I have really been enjoying my Huzzah, a bold probiotic seltzer with benefits.
With added probiotics and 3 grams of sugar or less, Huzzah tastes like sunshine in a can. Tasty and exhilarating when chilled, but non-perishable, so you can store at room temperature. Experience bold flavors that pair perfectly with a picnic or backyard hang. All 3 grams of sugar or less per 12-ounce can to help you feel your best before diving into summer.
Pump up your senses with 3 vibrant flavors, all low on sugar and 15 calories or less. Raspberry and lemon, strawberry and hibiscus, and my personal favorite, juicy pear. Get your cooler ready and stock up on Huzzah Probiotic Seltzer by using code SITWITHUS for 20% off your order at drinkhuzzah.com. That's code SITWITHUS for 20% off at drinkhuzzah.com. How does that work? Do the like
You can
the
do it by
best
newest
comments
first or just let it do its natural thing, which top comments have the most interaction or likes or comments under them, you know? So I suggest you never do by newest first. Never.
Good to know.
Never, ever. Speaking of comments, I have seen some comments on our YouTube videos asking who is Rainie.
Oh, yeah.
Our podcast intern.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we thought we would bring her on so she can say hello.
Yes.
This
Come
ray
on
of sunshine
through.
that lives behind Miles.
That's where
the
she
videos.
lives. Yes.
Surprise, it's Rainie.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Normally Rainie is off camera, but she's listening to everything we say.
And editing it.
Yeah. I know I get a lot of like crossover details. Like Keith was talking about hard water on his skin and making it like itchy, and then Becky was talking about it, and I was like, I already know about that.
That is so funny. I bet like the guys talk about the same thing that we do.
Yes.
And like
Keith likes to say, because we have very different audiences, but we do not. And so people are getting the same stories twice.
absolutely.
But from two different perspectives.
Yeah.
So it's true.
Which makes it really funny. Which makes it really, really funny. I remember one time when we were chatting with Sarah, who's Miles's fiance, and she was talking about all the things that Miles learned from baby steps. All the like couples therapy things.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
good.
I'm
That's
a little
good
nervous
advice.
to have kids now after baby
No,
steps and
don't be
you can sit with us.
nervous. That's
It's
the opposite of what we want. Well, everybody, Rainie is our podcast intern. You've been editing a lot of the podcasts. You've been here working in the office for the last however many weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't know that much about you. I don't know what's your story. I know that you moved here from Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Tell us a little bit about that. When like you graduated from college, what's the scoop?
Yes. Okay. Well, I want to ask you guys about this too, because I just came out of like this little existential crisis. This job has helped me a lot, but I feel like 23, 24 is like tough. Did you guys feel like that?
This is your quarter life crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm like a little bit out of it now, but like I was going through the advice that goes for Miles voicemails, and everybody is like, Miles, tell me what to do with my life. Miles, what should I do? When you graduated college, how did you decide what to do? And did you guys have like a intermediary job of like between college and like what you guys are doing now?
100%.
Oh, I've had multiple careers. This is not what I was doing.
You were a nanny first when you first graduated? Or?
When I first graduated college, I was actually acting in New York, and I was
What? I didn't
I
know
know.
that.
I was doing theater in New York, and I did a couple of shows over
were
the
you
summer
in?
Where'd you go,
season.
Beauty Queen?
Yeah. Wait, what shows were you
A
in?
long, washed up former beauty.
Once a beauty queen, always a beauty queen.
I was doing plays in New York. Oh
my God.
And I did 2 of them, and I was like, oh, I have to get an agent now. I don't want to do that. That's not in the cards for me. So then I nannied for a couple years. And that was sort of like an intermediate job for me. For me, it was obviously not what I was going to do with my whole life, but I had always worked with kids and I was good with kids. So it felt like a comfortable way to like live in a new place.
And were you anxious about like doing something you knew wasn't the long term? No? Oh man.
No. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't have as much pressure on me in my life, but I had I had like gotten into Teach for America and decided to, and also got cast in this summer season at the Atlantic Theater and had decided to go do theater instead.
Yeah.
And so when I decided to nanny after that, I was kind of like, well, I think I'll go back to teaching at some point. And I did. 2 years later, I started teaching. And I sort of thought that would be my job. And maybe I didn't worry about wasted time, although I would 1000% say it was not wasted time at all.
Yeah,
it was a really perfect fit.
Yeah.
But because teaching doesn't have such an intense ladder to climb, but it felt really good.
Yeah.
I was like making more money being a nanny than my boyfriend at the time, who was like working a project manager job for like a big construction and design, like architecture company.
Yeah.
And all my friends thought that was insane.
Yeah.
Because I
You
was
could
like
make good
working
money.
4 days a week and bringing home straight cold hard cash.
Yes.
What did you learn from being a nanny? Because I have a friend who was a nanny for a year, and she has a bunch of stories.
Well, I mean, the family I worked with are still my very best friends to this day. And their son is my daughter's godfather. He's 15 now.
I got chills. I literally got chills.
I love them so much. But for me, I had just moved to New York. All I had done was these theater shows, which took up all my time. I didn't know the city at all. And what I got to do is take this 2-year-old boy and run around and learn about New York. We were out and about every day. It was so fun for me to have like a partner to explore a new city with, even though he was 2. And we had the best time.
Seeing New York through a 2-year-old's eye. That sounds so cute.
We went out to lunch every day. We went to the park. We went to shows. We like went and rode the ferry for fun. We would just like go and do things. And he wasn't in preschool at the time. And so we just like had all the freedom in the world. It was a really great job at that time in my life.
Yeah.
It was very freeing.
And then Maggie, what did you do between nursing school and college?
I worked all the way. I was really nervous about the job market when I graduated nursing school, just because there is a nursing shortage in the US, but in specifically like big cities, that isn't the case. Like LA, I know there was like limited jobs, and I wanted to do pediatrics, which is even more selective.
So competitive.
So I actually worked 2 jobs my junior and senior year of nursing school, just so I could kind of force my foot in the door that way.
So did you go straight into nursing school?
I did.
So you knew, you were like, this is...
I actually, in high school, I was going back and forth between doing business or fashion or nursing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So my dad sat me down and he was like, what do you want to do in business? And I was like, I don't know. I was like 14, 15, 16. I don't know. I don't know. And he was like, I was always very patient with my grandmother, and like I loved doing service work and like volunteering. So he was like, I see that side of you. Like I definitely think that you should. So he kind of guided me there.
Yeah. Sometimes parents know. My parents also had like a bunch of I think they know the world better and they know you well. So it's kind of helpful.
The thing I kind of grappled with a lot is I think like I don't get to be as creative as I wanted to be. And I think that pediatrics has kind of helped with that. Like choosing your path within your specialties kind of helped. But yeah, I ended up interviewing my senior year and I went straight into being a nurse.
Yay.
Yeah.
What jobs did you have?
I was basically like a nurse assistant or like an ER tech. That's kind of like the jobs that I did.
Were you a CNA?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My best friends from high school they're identical twins and they're both nurses now, but they were CNAs in nursing school.
Oh, they have the same job?
They have the same job too.
That's crazy.
Same specialty?
No,
Are they very similar in personality?
My sophomore year of high school, we had this morning assembly and they look exactly the same. And I was good friends with them at the time, but I could not tell them apart. Like, so I would look at them and be like, all right, Maria's wearing this. Cause I knew where they stood in the assembly. Maria's wearing this today. Alondra's wearing this. And then I memorize it. And
you memorize their outfits to know who is who.
Yeah. And now I can tell them apart, but it's not based on their look. It's based on like how they act. They look exactly the same.
Do you think their parents mix them up as babies?
I kind of do. Okay, but here's
all
the
it
crazy
would take is
thing.
calling one by the other name and the other parent agreeing, and then all of a sudden
That's
they
it.
swap their names.
That's it.
And they're different. And
there's no way to know.
Yeah. Well, in school, sometimes people would be like Maria and tell Maria a whole thing, and then she'd be like, I'm Alondra, and then she'd go tell Maria what the person said because like they just didn't know.
There was twins at my high school that one of them really liked math and science and the other one really liked English and history. So when the other didn't feel like going to lecture on the other, they would swap. Yeah. I was like, oh man, I really wish I had a twin.
Wish I had an identical twin.
Yeah. Imagine being able to go to art class twice.
Oh man.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. It does sound amazing. I'm going to take art, English, and theater all day.
Yes.
Choir,
Yes.
never going to science.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the craziest thing about them is Alondra's middle name is Maria. And so sometimes they call Alondra Maria.
Their parents
insane.
Played themselves.
It's crazy.
They played themselves.
I don't know why they did that.
Me?
Yeah. But so they were CNAs and they had the coolest, it was like Grey's Anatomy every time I talked to them.
Really?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of crazy
Niles'
things.
dream.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Who wants their actual life to be like Grey's Anatomy though?
It's
too much. Too many emotions. Too many.
Miles.
Did you see was it gory?
Was it gory? Tell me, was it gory?
Maggie, do you have PTSD from the ER?
One of the jobs that I had was floating. So I would go to a different unit almost every single time, depending on like the hospital's need. The other one that I had was at a children's hospital specifically, and I was stationed on a floor. Was it gory? I did have a rotation. It was my very last rotation. I was in a pediatric emergency room. Oof. And there, depending on where I was stationed with my preceptor, like you could be in trauma or you could be in urgent care or you could just be in the wing that's mostly just like respiratory and asthma exacerbations. But the one story that stuck out to me the most.
I'm scared already.
The most. It's not gory. It's not gory.
I can feel my heart beat increasing.
We did night shifts and it was the summertime. So it was very warm in LA. And there was a little, I think she must have been 8 years old, came into the ER and we were doing triage. So we basically sit at the front and like call people one by one and decide whether or not they're going to go back or that they're going to go to urgent care. Or they're going to go to the formal ER wing. And so this little girl comes up and the mom was Spanish speaking and she explains to me that her daughter was sleeping and woke up just screaming and said that she felt something in her ear.
Oh, it wasn't a bug, was it?
You know, it's funny. Of all things I've been missing over the past year, it's the little things that I miss the most. Like making awkward eye contact across the room or meeting strangers in line. That's what I'm trying to get back to.
Vaccination is the most effective way to help prevent COVID-19 and get back to all the good times. Find out where to get your COVID-19 vaccine near you at vaccines.gov. That's vaccines.gov.
So the physician that I was with was like, oh, this happens pretty often in the summer when like the cockroaches are more active.
Oh, dear God.
Yes. It was.
Oh my God, Maggie.
No.
She was asleep and a cockroach just like went in her ear. And it was lodged in there.
Fear.
And they were trying to get it out with like a Q-tip, obviously, all the things. And it just kept burrowing and burrowing.
That must be so dangerous too.
Mm-hmm. And they were like trying to put all these, and she just kept feeling it kind of move around and it was just stuck in there. She comes to the ER. Apparently this was like, the physician that was there was just like, oh yeah, we're just going to.
trying to get it out with a Q-tip?
And like tweezers, all the things.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
She could see it. She could see the cockroach.
No, the little girl was just like, I still hear it. I still feel like the sensation. Yeah. Horrible.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Put a trigger warning on this episode.
I know. I'm so sorry. And so he was like, oh, this happens all the time. So they dropped liquid lidocaine in the ear and then we just like irrigated it with like a large 60 milliliter syringe and basically like saline and it came out. And this physician, I was like, are you sure you work in pediatrics? Because he like got all the pieces. It like broke into like 3 different pieces and he put it into a little like specimen container and he shows the little 8-year-old girl. He's like, this was in your ear. I was like, don't show her that. Yeah.
It wasn't like a street and I don't want to see.
It wasn't a street one, like those fairly large ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. There's different, like there's the American, there's the German. I don't know. It was a small one.
Okay. So this is one of my greatest fears.
Yeah.
Is like
bugs in your ear.
Is a bug flying into my ear and then like staying in there. Mm-hmm. And somebody told me one time that like you don't have to worry about bugs going into your ears because you would hear them. Like you would be able to like, don't worry, you don't have a bug in your ear if you can't hear it. You know, it's like,
I think
if you have like an itchy ear or something.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to make myself and everybody else feel
all
better.
I have to do is hear that story, and all of a sudden, like my head.
I know
it's feel good.
It's the fact that it was like super easy to get out.
Yeah,
is great. Well, in the ER, but
I'm sure it's very.
I'm trying to make everybody feel better.
If there is a live cockroach in my ear, I'm dying of an immediate stroke. I'm like,
I would have been petrified. It's very rare
I'm too scared.
The boys did that insect video, and remember when we were growing up, we always heard that you eat like 16 bugs or 6 bugs a year because they just crawl into your mouth. But when they were doing that video, was it Keith or Zach? Someone had their mouth open and was trying to. Or
was it you, Miles?
I think it was Shane. Maybe it was Shane. They were talking about a video that was on YouTube, or they did it themselves, where they had their mouth open and was like trying to get.
Oh, didn't Billie Eilish do that?
Yes, but I think that woman also worked with Watcher, and he was like trying to.
He was trying to swallow it
to like prove. It was almost like MythBusters, like trying to debunk.
Okay, but how did he not just combust from how awful that is?
And also the tubes in your ears are too small for like actual bugs to climb into. So, you know, once you irrigate the ear, it will
comes
come
out.
out. It's not like it's going to crawl into your brain,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, I can't. We have to move on.
I was like I had a lot of anxiety about this, and I did a lot of research, and I feel a lot better about, I really had to debunk this myself.
Yes.
When I was like 18 years old, you know, and like, you know, bugs flying around, sleeping on the ground and stuff.
Of course.
You know, the bugs are not going to get into your brain.
Yeah.
I'm just going to,
They're not going to get into your brain, but
I'm just going to leave it there.
I really don't want to have to go into the ER for the lidocaine and saline.
Don't worry, it's not that common. It's not that
and then
common.
Ariel, you were in Chicago after.
Yes. When I was like 20, 22, 23. I moved to Chicago. I worked for free for a very long time at an art conservation company.
Is that illegal now? There are no more unpaid internships, right?
It might have been illegal then.
There are very many, and it is hard to get. They're so hard. They're so competitive.
Messed up.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, so I was unpaid for a very long time, and I was like so thankful to have this job. And I was so I decided that I wanted to be an art conservator. But I hadn't taken any chemistry in college. And so I was going to night school for chemistry. I took 2 years of night school. I took 2 semesters of general chemistry and 2 semesters of organic chemistry.
Wait. Wow. Okay, wait. I have so many questions. What jobs were you working?
So I was working as a registrar at a private art conservation company.
What is a registrar?
So a registrar in like the museum world, it's somebody who like catalogs the art and makes sure that all the art is stored properly and and kind of checks on it every once in a while and make sure that all like where it is stored is proper. So like paintings are stored upright and, you know,
so you just got to look at art like a lot.
I just got to look at art
and work.
But so this art conservation company we specialized in like disaster conservation. And so if somebody had a flood or a fire in their house, our team would go in and they would collect all of the art. So I got to go into these like super high-end homes, collect all the art. And a lot of times
this is like the Chicago elite.
The Chicago elite, but all over the world, like over the world, but mostly all over the country. And so most of it came from like the Chicagoland area, but a lot of it would come from, you know, if there was like a hurricane and, you know, like people would have like a flood in Miami or something like that. And we'd get all this like crazy pop art and
they're always having hurricanes in Miami.
Super high end, like modern art. But yeah, and a lot of times somebody who has high-end art, they have a lot of it. And so if there's a disaster and their home gets like, you know, first floor flooding or a fire or something like that, then we would go in and we would just collect all of the art, and they would have these excellent art insurance policies.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so
you would fly out.
Job. So we would drive out because we would have to drive it back. And so I worked on a team of like art handlers, and they were all these big burly guys. And then there was me, who, you know, I would go out and I would be like cataloging all of the art. I'd be taking pictures of it, and I'd be like noting all the different areas of like damage and things like that. And then we bring it all back to our facility. We had this big warehouse, and the actual art conservators would do their testing on it and all that kind of stuff to see if they could save it or fix it. And, you know, and then we'd send our reports to the insurance company, and the insurance company would, you know, and like how much it would cost. And then the insurance company would usually send it to the client and say, it would cost this much to fix it, and it would cost this much to replace it.
Whoa.
And so it was usually like 50-50 whether the clients would choose to fix it or whether they would choose to replace it.
Let's say there's a flood, you save some art, it has a little damage. If they don't fix it, what happens to that piece?
Excellent question. And I don't know if I'm legally allowed to tell you.
No. You kept it. It's in your house.
Some of it, yeah. Yeah,
really?
Because
they were like, let's donate this?
It wasn't so much donate. So we would call it orphaned art. because the art had been orphaned by its owners, and we had to keep it for a certain period of time,
in case they were
wanted it back or something like that. You know,
it.
like legally they had given it up, I believe. But we would keep it just in case. And there was art, you know, this company had been around for a long time. And so there was art that had been around for a very, very long time. And, you know, usually it was art that had, that was so far gone, you know, that like a fire, you couldn't even tell what was on the canvas anymore.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes our conservators would use those as like, pieces to try out new techniques or things like that, you know? And so sometimes they could actually bring the art back from, you know, from being singed by a fire, and they would just, you know, kind of use a new chemical or a new technique and fix it. And then we'd hang it in our warehouse as like, look what we did. Yeah. But then there was a period of time when we had to, you know, as the registrar who was like cataloging and storing all this art, we had to go through and be like, okay, well, we have too much orphaned art. It's time to get rid of some things, you know? And so we had a big old dumpster in the back.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was like, you know, the stuff that was really, really far gone, we just kind of had to toss it in the dumpster.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that the saddest thing you've ever heard? And a lot of times it's like, so a lot of times it was frames. So you guys know how much it costs to frame nice art. It's so expensive to frame things. And a lot of times the frames were not worth saving. And so, you know, like a print or something like that was in a frame that was in a flood or a fire, those frames are just, you know, dumpster. And yeah. And so I took home so many frames.
You took home dumpster art.
I took home dumpster art. I would take home dumpster art.
That sounds like a
23-year-old
move if I've ever
all
heard
the time.
one.
I took home so much dumpster art.
We used to find furniture on the streets in New York and just like be like, can we walk it up our 7 flights of stairs? Yeah, let's bring it up.
Yeah. It's like once something was in the dumpster, it was a free for all.
It was free. It was a freebie.
It was a freebie. Yeah. And so like once something got thrown in the dumpster, I was like, does it not smell enough like fire to bring it home? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And yes, it does.
Rainie, what is your existential crisis?
Okay, well, I think I'm through it, knock on wood. But I graduated and I was like,
You graduated in 2020?
2019. Okay. So I've had 2 years, and the summer after I like watched every episode of True Blood, and I just sort of like, like I was just like, I don't know, started a podcast.
What was your degree?
Oh, it was in American Studies and then a minor in film and media. But yeah, American Studies, what is that? Does anybody know? I don't think.
Mine was like sociology and anthropology. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is that?
And so, yeah, I was like, hadn't really thought about life after college at all until I remember sitting at at commencement and being like, all right, like now, all right, what do I do next? And like, that was the first time that I thought about it. Which was definitely
so your school had no program of being like, what are you guys going to do? Do you want to talk to our career counselors? Do you want to map out like some job fair stuff?
That would have been so helpful. There was a job fair, but it was all computer science. So I remember going and bebeing like, pretty quickly, I was like, I'm not going to get a job from this, but let me see if I can get a water bottle. And I didn't even get a water bottle. Like people were just like, you're not.
Come on.
Yeah, it's a water bottle. Well, and to those graduating in 2019, 2020, 2021, I graduated in 2008, and I feel like it's a similar situation where like the economy
for me.
The economy collapsed as I graduated college, and I was like,
this isn't good. Yeah.
You know, it's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I just did. So I was like, yeah, I'll like wing it when I graduate. Like I'll figure something out. And that was just like very much overconfidence on my part. Like I graduated and I was
girl, you gotta fake it to make it. Come on.
Yeah, I remember I applied to one job and I was like, all right, well, now we wait. And and I did not get
Rainie,
that job.
you are not playing the odds.
I love that.
Now we wait.
Yeah, so that strategy definitely didn't work out. But I kind of was like, just like a bunch of rejections, just like, applying to stuff. Like it was a lot in a row. Like I think I applied to 80 jobs before I got one part-time internship.
Wow.
So that was
80. That's
80.
nuts.
And then by the time, it's the only reason I know this is because I have like a cover letter folder on my computer called SOS, and then I just counted.
Help!
Yeah, please.
Wait,
help.
and so what sorts of jobs were you applying to?
So, well, I was also just like, this was part of my existential crisis where I was like, I think I applied to like teaching jobs, like the public defender's appellate division, and then like development, like fundraising.
Basically like entry
Playing
level
the
jobs
field.
sort of all over
just
the place.
all over. Like the job will choose me.
Somebody give me a job.
I volunteer as tribute. Let's go.
And I was talking to a bunch of people because like my dad was like, you gotta like, I don't understand why you're not talking to people. Yeah. And then I was living with my
Your
parents
dad was
too,
like, you
which
have
was,
to
like
network.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. My dad was very much like, you're not going to get a job through applying to stuff online. Like you have to talk to people. And I was like, I don't know anybody. And I was like, I truly have no
Dad, where
contacts.
did he want you to go talk to people?
Yeah. So then I got this internship at the Colorado State Treasurer's office, which
Cool.
was so hilarious. It was so awesome. I loved it. It was like Parks and Rec. It was like incredibly, the characters were so rich and so like, everybody
So
was
rich.
like so funny and like whimsical, and like they were just thriving in the treasurer's office.
Colorado Treasury is lit.
I had a brief stint as a hostess, which was horrible. I was like
Yeah.
comedically bad, the worst
Like-
in America.
Oh, I
in
did that all through at restaurants.
Yeah.
I did that all through high school. It is
bad.
bad job.
Applied on a whim. I just had a Sunday open, and I applied to NPR, and I was like, I thought that there was a negative percent chance that I was going to get it. So I was just like, I'm taking this as a creative essay opportunity, and just like wrote this cover letter that was
I love this glass
insane.
half full.
Yeah.
Just like-
mentality.
And now we wait.
And now we wait.
yeah, it was truly like bananas, the cover letter, like, and so it'll come back so I sent it off. Then I was like, I'm not really sure if it's sent, and so I emailed the people at NPR, and I was like, hey, like, I don't know if my application sent. I attached it here just in case. Didn't attach it. Forgot to attach it. But then I was like, you know what? It's over. It's fine.
It's over. It's over.
So I like, and then
I
they
attached it here. No attachment to this email.
and then they emailed me back, and they were like, yep, we got it. And I was like, they saw my email. And then like a few weeks later, I got an email from the executive producer of How I Built This being like, hey, we want to interview you. So I talked to him. It was crazy. I was like, I'm on the phone with NPR.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, yeah, Guy might want to talk to you. And I was like, Guy Raz? So Guy called me, and what I really remember was he was just like, yeah, so you put on your cover letter, you put, you don't like to follow rules, but like at NPR, you're going to have to follow rules. Can you speak to that? And I was like, did I write that on an entry level position cover letter? Like
You wrote, I don't like to follow rules?
Yeah. And
That's really funny.
Letter. Dear NPR, my name is Rainie. I don't follow rules.
I was like, I'm not good at school. I don't follow rules. I'm like not a conventional thinker. And they were like, you're hired. And I was like,
Yes. Wow. I love
How did you explain that in the interview?
I backpedaled. I don't even know. I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know. I'm good. I won't.
I will follow all your rules, I promise.
Yeah. And so I got on the phone, and I was like, I called my dad. I was like, I don't think I got it. And he was like, Rainie, if you're going to put something like that on the cover letter, you got to be ready to
You gotta be ready to answer for your statements.
But then an hour later, I got it. So I went to DC.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It was a miracle. I don't know I don't know what happened, honestly. But I think the universe was just like,
they
you know
probably
what?
got 1,000 cover letters that sounded the same, and they were like,
This girl's
Give it a
cool.
shot.
This girl. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And living in DC was awesome. And then the pandemic hit. So I came back home, finished it from home. And then by that point, I was like, okay, so reinstated existential crisis, just like we're back in it. But I was kind
for
of
the
like,
whole world.
Right, for the whole world.
Irregardless of age. Everyone was like, oh no, we're back in it.
Yeah, really just like so much empty space. And then I also want to ask you about identity, but later, because I feel like
Maybe
you
we
know
just
what? We'll
have
bring you
Rainie
back.
another one. Yeah. Bring you back. Because I haven't asked you all my questions either.
We never said it. Becky's out of town, y'all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're the worst.
Miles
Rainie,
reminded
can
us.
you cut this to the beginning as a flashback?
Yeah.
Becky's out of town.
Oh my God.
Miles
And then we'll-
reminded us at the beginning of the episode, he said, don't forget to talk about how Becky is out of town.
Maggies.
And look at us. We forgot.
disappeared.
We forgot. We're not great at hosting hosting a podcast.
We're just good friends who like to
We're
talk.
just good friends.
I love editing this podcast. You guys are so good at it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, and then I sort of had narrowed it down to podcasting and public radio, and then I freelanced for Colorado Public Radio. More rejections. And then I also talked to a ton of people because my dad was like, "You got a network." And then one of those my dad was just
Get off my back.
So one of the people I talked to was Will Whitwer. And here we are. But
Here we are.
Oh, that's
Will Whitwer,
funny.
the great connector.
Yeah.
Will Whitwer.
Yeah. So I think that's the 2 years. But
Well, I'll tell you, we have to wrap this up. I know. But I have a friend who interned at NPR right when we graduated college. And one day she got into an elevator with this man and they're riding. And he goes, "So what do you do at NPR?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm interning for this department. What do you do at NPR?" And he goes, "Oh, I host a show called This American Life." And she was like, what is wrong with me? She came home crying. She's like, "I'm going to get fired from NPR because Ira Glass."
But
Ira
also,
Glass.
radio personalities, you don't know what they look like.
I know you don't, but don't you know what Ira Glass looks like?
Yeah.
You wear glasses?
You know his voice.
I know his voice.
absolutely know his
I
voice.
truly do not know what he looks
I don't
like.
know what he looks like either.
Okay.
I'm imagining like a balding man with glasses.
Yeah.
You're
I
not
think
totally
so.
wrong.
Ira Glass?
Yeah. Ira Glass.
Anyways, that's my NPR intern story. Now,
Okay,
make sure to-
not balding,
Rachel,
but yes, with
Rachel
glasses.
just showed me Ira Glass. I mean, Silver Fox.
Yes.
I'm just gonna
He is
say
a
it.
silver fox.
I'm just gonna say it. We can end on Ira Glass, Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at
Podcast
this one.
extraordinaire.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Gorgeous.
Internet who can't see this, if you're listening, Google it.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening in on this week's episode. Be sure to rate us 5 stars and email our podcast email at youcansitwithUspod@gmail.com. Send
will
us your
probably
questions.
Do another question episode sometime soon.
Yeah.
We love those.
Yeah. And if you're listening to the podcast on other streaming platforms, turn on automatic downloads because it really helps the show. We will talk to you guys next week. Bye.